Alrighty folks, want to welcome you back to another video from Yates Computers Tips and Reviews. Let's start out with hopefully everybody's headed over, subscribed to my channel, hit the bell to get the updates on all future videos, posting updates, all of that stuff that comes along with being subscribed. This one is not really a rabbit hole video, but it is because this is something that probably a lot of people are maybe interested in, don't really know, don't really have seen, have heard about things. And I thought, been going to bin stores, buying some stuff. They had this. It had a broken panel on it. Thought, oh, I could just try to glue it. The glue won't work with the plastic. So, what I thought of is going through and talking a little bit about something similar to this. Because LEDs are supposed to be energy efficient. Catch-22 when you come to things like this. Energy efficient compared to what? This tells you, oh, it's 400 times, I think it was 450 times more brighter than a standard light bulb. Okay, how much wattage and amperage does it use? That's another factor that's out there, because nowadays a standard light bulb is not really standard light bulbs anymore. I believe the federal standard went through where those bulbs are not being manufactured anymore. Everything's fluorescent or LED bulb. So wattage uses and a lot of other things are going down. This thing was saying it uses, 90 watts or whatever it is, 80 watt. I don't remember the exact spec. Compared to an old-fashioned light bulb, yeah. So this is a marketing ploy campaign to make this sound better. Is it brighter? Yes. Maybe you need that feature. Maybe that's better because now you're using the same wattage or less for more light. That's the nice thing about LED. Now, LEDs on a lot of things. You have LED on memory, LED lights, LED on fans. This light here that's shining on me for my video. All LED. My light bulbs in here. All LED. Does anybody really know what an LED actually is? Have they seen it? Of course, they're probably not going to pay $10 for a light bulb to go rip it apart. So, figured, you know what? I already opened up, took off that one panel. Want to explore, want to play. Let's see what there is, and I want to show people. Because basically this thing I'm just going to throw away because I didn't pay enough for it to worry about it. I actually bought another one that's a smaller panel than this that has a nice feature where it turns on, turns off. So I took off the little plastic covers that are over there. Now you can see LED panels. So if you're working on a business that has LED light panels, thinking about putting it in LED panels, this is basically an LED panel. That's the LEDs, all of them in there. So what makes it brighter is how many of those are in there and how bright each LED can actually project. And then multiply it by how many are in there. And then like this one, you can angle it to, it's a nice little invention that might suit a lot of needs. I have one on the front porch because a lot of times it's dark. We can't really see. It's in a bad shaded area. It's not the bigger one. It's the smaller one. So, yeah, it suits the needs, but it's not on all the time. It's on when we need it. So, the higher wattage and that type of stuff is something to be aware of. So, I wanted to point that out because this is what the LED panel actually is. That's all it is. So I wanted to do a quick video on showing what the LED actually is. I can actually just remove it. Just 2 wires on there, soldered, positive, negative. That's basically it. That's the LED panel for this one. And of course, if you're got bigger lights, they'll be in lines or whatever, how many lines, depending on how much brightness comes off of it. But that's all it is. Let me remove this one if I can, because I found what's interesting with it is it's not giant gauge wires. It's not, because it's so low voltage, I kind of thought it was funny to see that in a light. Everybody knows power cords, the lights, the thicker gauge wire, but that's the connecting wires, because it needs so little to power those boards. It's the same wire. It runs in here, feeds to the board, runs up, connects back, and runs back. So I wanted to do a little video showing an LED panel. I might take the LED panels out and keep them. Maybe I'll make a little something with it or something. But I wanted to show an LED. Just a short little video so people will actually understand what an LED actually is. How they work. When you have an LED light, you'll see flashlights where they talk about LED, how strong it is. Now you'll see flashlights that tell you 3 LEDs, 4 LEDs, 5 LEDs. They're talking about this little unit right here, the little like yellow unit. That's the LED that puts out the light. They'll talk about how much light it puts out per LED. That's what they're talking about. They're not talking about this whole panel. They're talking about that very specific little chip that's on there. So that was kind of an interesting concept, because now LEDs are on a lot of things. You'll find lights to put out front, solar lights that are LED, that are run with that little tiny wire that runs into the LED and then out to another one and out to another one. They look, and there's just this little tiny plastic sheathing that looks like a nothing wire. It really is, because there's hardly nothing in there. And it's kind of amazing where the tech is at. And again, this is 2023. These have been out for a while. It's been out in lots of products and lots of things. But now they've gotten to a better quality, a better standard. They're in traditional light bulbs now. They're everywhere. They're everywhere you look. My keyboard has LED lighting. The mouse has LED lighting. Memory, LED lighting. Fans. Light bulbs. LED TV. LED light for my videos. This stuff is out there everywhere now. And it's kind of interesting. You can go find other videos on showing you LED, but where this comes into the tech part, again, I mentioned fans, memory, all these other little things that are out there now that are part of computers that is not computer. This is an LED. Again, how many are on there and all that stuff varies between the product and all of that type of stuff. But this is what it actually is. And I wanted to show that so people are aware of what an actual LED is and not what an LED lit item is. An LED lit item is one or multiple LEDs on that item that produces the light. The LED is actually the element that's in there that produces the light. So, wanted to go through and show that, because I know when you talk about memory, talk about fans, you'll talk about LED lit, non-LED lit, multiple colors. These LEDs can make blue, green, red, all these different colors and all these color controls and all this other stuff you can do with LED lighting in a computer, and this is what it's referring to. So this should be enough detail and enough for this video, just a little short video. Not a whole lot of detail I needed to go into, but I actually had this laying around and I said, you know what? I want to show people an LED. Because this is what's in your tech. It might be smaller, it might be a little different than this one, but that's what an LED is. If you look at flashlights again, you'll see the ads and there's the little dot in the center. That's what it is. It's the LED that produces the light. All these little things that are out there, and I know it's pretty low in tech video, but again, it's not really a rabbit hole, or is it the rabbit hole? It is a rabbit hole if you go into this. If you go deeper into LEDs, the wattage, the voltage, the color schemes, the brightness, you can get into a lot of things with LEDs. Lifespan, a lot of things that go on. How many hours do they last? That's another factor that is out there to know. These LEDs do not last forever. They have a certain amount of hour usage, and after that, they go out. Or they dim down, or whatever happens. So, that's a factor with LED. They're not, you'll see light bulbs, they say, oh, guarantee for 10 years or whatever. But when you look at the standard, it's based on how many minutes or hours per day, per year that it's used. That's how they get the math. It's how many hours that LED is actually good for. And again, power surges and other stuff could burn them out. It's just an electronic chip. Could be a manufacturer issue where the chip goes bad. So this is where I wanted to show what an LED actually was and how it is. You can go on videos and they'll tell you, oh, this is how you take it out and this is how you replace it, and you can put this blank in there and the rest of them will work and all that. There's a lot of repair videos out there and a lot of other things out there. But if you're in the tech industry, you might not actually know what an LED is, because that is more of an electrical thing than computer thing. But now you have them in computers, and you have them all over computers, and you have them around computers, and you have backlighting around monitors, and you have all kinds of crazy things that they're marketing nowadays. That's LED. So I wanted to wrap this one into tech. It's kind of like the coax cable. It was not tech, but it is tech, because if you're getting your internet provider internet through that kind of cable, then it becomes internet related, because now you're streaming everything through TV cable that really you're not getting TV, but you're getting internet, but you're getting your service through them, and it's around and around. So that's why I keep saying a lot of these videos link to other subjects. It's all intertwined. Computer tech is kind of easy but complicated, because a single subject is easy, but when you go a little deeper, you get into multiple subjects that are linked into that. That's when you get into deeper, and that's when things get a little harder. Simple thing like Wi-Fi, setting up a Wi-Fi, going in and you go through all your security settings, your domain, and are you on a domain, not domain? Do you have to have a username and password to get onto the internet through your internet provider? Or does it just provide that? Depending on how you're connected, through your cable modem, cable modems. In the old days, you had to have a username and password that talked to the cable company and then provided out. There's a lot of different data out there. There's a lot of information out there. And to know how these all intertwine. So, this one has kind of into the computer field. A lot of people have been talking about it for years. It's kind of just a standard thing. You get it, you don't get it. How do you want it? What colors, But what is it? Nobody's actually, unless you get into electronics, shown what an actual LED actually is that I know of. Of course, some people have probably shown it in other devices and other things, but when it comes to computers and computer tech and not electrical and electronic type stuff, this is where this video comes in. Because this is where these actually tie into your computer. You might go out and buy a brand new computer, pre-made, all of that stuff, and get home and turn it on and it shines blue lights out and all this stuff, and you don't understand what's going on and how to control it and what it is, and because that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for a computer to go on there and do what you need to. Go on and you bought a gaming computer. You went on and bought something that you can do your accounting and your taxes, and didn't really expect LEDs. Lights to be coming out of your computer. Coming out the front, coming out the side, special lights on the top, whatever. Runway lights, something that interesting, but not really what you were looking for, that you might get surprised with. So this is why I did the video explaining what an LED actually is, letting you know they do have a lifespan. After so many hours, they fail. And if it's not something you really need and you're not really worried about it, and you have a computer, especially nowadays, you go out and buy a new Windows 11, Windows 12 computer, and it comes with those things, and you have it for 10 or 15 years, and they fail, they go out, you can unplug it from a controller, no harm, no foul, no problem. So that's kind of the issue I wanted to go through and point out, because it might become something in the future that you might look at. Alrighty, thank you all so much for watching another video from Yates Computers. Make sure you head over and subscribe.